Hello. Today I'm going to try to help you maybe fix your own television. This says Funai Corporation, which is the company who made this particular television for Emerson. The model number, as you can see, there's LF501EM4. That obviously is important, but also the serial number is important too, especially the first three digits, DS4. So those are the things that you will be wanting to search for when you go to find a part to fix the television. If you're having similar condition as I was on this particular model, what was happening is you could plug the television in and it would try to automatically cycle power on its own, but the backlight would never actually even try to light up. The red LED on the bottom of the television would just go on, off, and just cycle power. So it's like a standby mode. It just kind of keeps going in and out of, but never getting a full signal to turn the backlight of the television on for complete power up. So I apologize up front. This is not going to be one of my better videos. I can tell you that right now, because I'm already kind of into this project, but I got to think in hindsight I probably should have started videoing earlier on to try to help some of you. But once you turn this television over, you will see all the screws around the outer edge. You do not have to take all those screws off. The only screws that you'll be looking to remove are the ones around this center shell. So it will be all the ones that you will see around the perimeter of this inner shell that basically just covers your circuit board area. So you will leave the full cover intact. So it's pretty nice. I've worked on a lot of these different televisions, and you actually have to take all the screws out of the perimeter and the whole back shell comes off. Well, Emerson or Funai actually did a pretty good job of just making these, the main power supply board and the main control board, very easily accessible. So within just a couple minutes you can pop all these screws out. I like to always throw mine in a cup or something so I don't lose them. The four bigger, longer screws actually just go right into those four holes right there. And basically what that does is that holds the frame that stands your television up into the housing. Okay, so I did just like most everybody else is doing, like you're doing right now. I went to YouTube and the internet to try to find out if anybody else has been having this problem with this particular model, and obviously they have. And what I have located is that most people have found the problem to be in the main circuit board here, the control board, not so much the power supply. And I believe that since it is going into the bypass, or not bypass mode, but the actual initiation mode of the television with the LED coming on, that it seems like the power coming out of the board is good. We got 5 volts coming out. We have 3.3 volts over here on this board. I've checked it in a few different places. So I'm just going to cut right to the chase, try and make this video as short as possible for you. What you can do is you can, once you get to this point, just to make sure you are ordering the right control board, you will want to look and see what your part number is. You can see mine right there, BA31T0G02013. It's right here, printed on the board. There's another sticker you could probably reference right here, at least on mine. Make sure you have the right board. I was going to order this board from Shop Jimmy. They were out of stock on this particular board. So I noticed that Shop Jimmy actually offered the EEPROM, which is actually right there, right next to the main microprocessor. That is an EEPROM chip. Sorry, but it won't focus in on the actual part number of the chip. It's hard to read anyway, even if you had it off the board. But it's an IC, you'll see it IC printed on the board, IC3006. Shop Jimmy offers that as an alternative for do-it-yourselfers to change that EEPROM out versus spending the money to change out the whole board. So the only thing you'll want to make sure of, and I do have another EEPROM here. This is one I took off the board. The one thing you want to make sure of is that you get that in the right location. There's a little indentation right there, as you can see, in the actual plastic of the chip itself. You'll want to make sure that indentation goes to the right location on the board, which would be the side on this board. It's the side right next to the microprocessor, so the indentation would be right here. Let me see, the indention's right here on my chip, and see that little white triangle right there, that little indicator? That's the pin that you want lined up with that little indentation. So that's the main thing you got to watch for on that particular chip. But if you're not a do-it-yourselfer, this may not be something you want to attempt, but otherwise just unsolder the chip, solder the new one back in, and that should fix your problem. Hope this helps. Okay, I got that EEPROM changed out, and I started using my DMM here to check the continuity in between each one of the pins. I didn't have a magnifying glass, so it's kind of a little bit of a sloppy soldering job, but I used my continuity tester there, my digital multimeter, to check to see if I had any solder bridges across any of the pins. And what I found is that this here on this side over here, where the little indentation is that goes towards that little white triangle, that's your pin 1, which is obvious if you know anything about electronics. And then it goes 2, 3, 4 down that side, and then across would be 5, 6, 7, 8 back up this side. That's the pin out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And what I found is that pin 7 and pin 8 has continuity between them right now. I don't have a pin out on this particular EEPROM, and it's been a while since I've really even messed with EEPROM, so I don't know if they're all the same or not. I'm pretty certain pin 8, which is this top pin up here, and I'm pretty certain that's VCC, so that's your power in. But for some reason, there's continuity in between that and pin 7. So I probed around, checked a bunch of different stuff and everything, and I thought, you know what, this is either going to fix it or it's not. So I went ahead and I just powered it up, and voila, lo and behold, the little LED light that comes on the front of your TV at the bottom that flashes normally, that's your standby mode. Normally it comes on, goes off, comes on, goes off. Well, as soon as I changed the EEPROM, I plugged it in, and the light came on and stayed on steady, which was a good sign. And after hitting the power button, the backlights come on. So I'm going to button this thing up and run it for a little while and see if it stays working without any issues. Hopefully this helps someone.